Hi there, this is Brick from How to IELTS, and today we will review another IELTS mock speaking test from Dimas. But before we begin, if you would like your own free IELTS mock style speaking test, you can join my WhatsApp group. The link is in the description to this video. Now, let's begin. Good afternoon. My name is Brick. Could you tell me your full name, please?
Okay, thank you. My full name is Dimas Kuko Nurrahim. My family members and friends usually call me Dimas, so it is my nickname.
Okay, this part of the test is usually not assessed. However, a bit of a long answer. We don't really need that much of a long answer. If you bump into somebody on the street and you introduce yourself, you wouldn't say, "My friends and family call me this." Thank you. This, that, and the other. You would just go straight to the point. But nevertheless, this part is not assessed, so it doesn't really matter. So let's continue. Okay. Right. So now, in the first part of the test, I will ask you questions about familiar topics. So let's talk about food. So, what's your favorite type of food?
Okay, I live in Indonesia. It is a country that
Okay. Now, already the first part of his answer already seems a little bit memorized, and he's not answering the question directly. I was asking about food, and he told me where he lives. So we need to just be precise in our answers, meaning that we just need to answer directly. If I ask you what your hobby is, but then you tell me what you do as a job, you're not answering the question. So this is what Dimas is doing here. But let's continue.
has a lot of spicy food, so I'm familiar with spicy food, especially the type of seafood.
Okay, so he did use the word familiar, which is a good word to use to show off your vocabulary. However, it's not relevant here. I asked him, what type of food do you like? And he mentioned, I'm familiar with, whatever type of food. So, not really the best start, but let's continue. Okay. And do you prefer eating at home or do you prefer eating out?
It depends on the condition.
Okay, so good start here is getting better. However, the correct way to pronounce this word is it depends. P depends, not defends, not not defends, depends. So an error there with pronunciation, but let's continue.
But actually, I prefer to eat seafood in home because I can enjoy the food by the time that I want to eat and doesn't hurry to.
Okay, this answer is slightly better. He did say I prefer to eat I think it was seafood at home. But then the rest of the answer wasn't really relevant. So we are struggling with marks when it comes to coherence. So if you look at this sheet on your screen, the first section is fluency and coherence. Here we're kind of struggling with coherence, but let's
The food.
continue. Okay. And can you cook?
A little bit. I cook for myself, like cooking eggs or
Right. This is a much better answer. He said, yes, I cook a little bit. Okay. And then he carried on to support his answer. So he said he cooks eggs. Good. We're doing better now.
yeah, lazy cooking, something like that.
Okay. And what do you like to cook?
I like to cook, especially in my leisure time.
So again, as you can see, he's not really answering the question directly. I asked him, "What and do you like to cook?" And he said, I like to cook, especially in my free time. So he's not telling me exactly what he likes to cook. So again, we are kind of, we're not doing well in coherence.
Trying to cook something easy, and sometimes I have my wife cooking for my family. Yeah.
Right. So as you can see there, he's answered the question now, but nowhere did he state what he likes to cook. Yeah. And what kind of food is popular in your country?
Um, yeah, like I said before, Indonesia is a country that has uh, a long line of beats, and so we have the amount of yeah, uh,
Okay. So Dimas looks like he's struggling with this question, and I understand the IELTS speaking test can be quite nerve wracking. It is difficult. It can be difficult. Um, to improve, though, we do need to reduce the amount of we need to reduce those dead sounds, those pauses. One way we can do that is just to practice speaking as much as possible. Just a bit of advice for you there, Dimas.
see many different kind of seafood types. So yeah, seafood is one of the popular Thai food in my country.
Okay. And do you think healthy? Sorry, just going back to that answer. So the whole first part of the answer was kind of irrelevant. The last part was the important part. So I would just cut the first part out if I was you, Dimas, and just keep that last part in. That's it. So if somebody asks you what type of food is popular in your country, just say, this type of food is very popular in my country. That's it. Okay. And do you think healthy eating is important?
Yeah, uh, I agree with sorry, in my opinion, healthy food is very important because uh nowadays people in young age has uh has got sick because they eat yeah, maybe a fast food or something unhealthy food. So it's
Right. So he's doing slightly better compared to the initial questions, the questions that we asked to begin with. And I would say that so far we're probably on around a band three, maybe a high band three. Some areas maybe a four. But let's continue.
very important to consume healthy food for us.
Okay. So we will now talk about hobbies. So what hobbies do you enjoy in your free time?
Yeah, I have one hobby that is playing chess. I like play chess when I was child with my father, and then I continue my hobby in online platform using some of platform like
Right. And this is a much more developed answer. If we get rid of those, this would be a very good answer. So the words that you're saying here are good. Your lexical resource here is much improved. We just need to focus on those. Uh, that's it. So you're doing better.
24 or chess.com or something like that. I think chess is uh um uh sorry, I think it just is one of hobby that not use a lot of energy, but exercise our thinking to improve my mind.
That was a really good answer, actually. I actually liked that answer. Again, if we just get rid of those long pauses, those sounds that we make when we hesitate, if we get rid of those, that was a decent answer. Also, why is Dimas making those sounds? That usually happens when we do not know what to say. And one of the main reasons why we might not know what to say is because of the lack of vocabulary. So, for example, if I were to ask Dimas to answer this question in his home language, I'm sure that he will be able to answer fluently. However, in English, he's struggling a little bit, and that's usually because of a lack of vocabulary. So, to get rid of those sounds, just improve on focus. Just focus on improving your vocabulary, developing and expanding your vocabulary. Well, let's continue. Okay. And how did you first become interested in playing chess?
Yeah, when I'm playing chess, I can feel I must thinking 2 or 3 more steps ahead. So uh,
So this was a bit of a difficult question, actually, but we are going back to making those same mistakes that we were making at the start of the test, Dimas, which is that we're not answering the question directly. Now, here is what you can do to make sure that you answer the question directly. And this is the feedback I would give for anyone around a band 3 or a 4, which is to, if the examiner asks you, what do you like to do? Start your sentence off with, I like to do, and then just carry on. So you're just kind of using the same words that the examiner as just to use. Okay. Now, again, this feedback is specific to those who are at the band 3 and band 4 level. If you do want to get those higher marks, really, we don't want to repeat what the examiner is saying. We want to use synonyms. But for this level where Dimas is currently at, I would just use some of the words that the examiner is using just to start your sentences off. That way, you will make sure that we answer the question directly rather than just talking about something completely different. Well, let's continue.
I feel it can be improved with my thinking, and also after that we can analyze game together, and it's quite fine for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, not the best answer there, really. Again, I understand it was a difficult question, and also if you're benefiting from this video, please hit that like button. And if you do want a test with myself, join the WhatsApp group, and I'll give you more information there. But let's continue. Now come to the end of part 1 of the speaking test. We will now move over to part 2. Now, in part 2 of the speaking test, you will be given a card with a topic, and you will speak about that topic for 1 to 2 minutes. But before you speak, you will have 1 minute to make notes. Okay, so you will. So let's look at the topic. So his topic was describe a special event or festival that you liked. Okay, so say what the event was, where it was, and what happened, and say why you liked it. Okay, so it's a decent card. Okay, not too difficult. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. Thank you very much. The event that I want to talk is the Independence Day of my country.
The event that I want to talk about, the word about, don't forget to say that. The event that I would like to talk about is, and then continue.
Indonesia is it celebrates every 17th August in every year. So it's a really interesting event, and we as the Indonesian people.
Right. Okay. So I'm just going to pause it there for a quick moment. And in the IELTS speaking test rubric, which is the answer key that the examiner uses, if you look carefully here for our band 3, it says that speaks with long pauses. So that's what's holding us back, basically. So for the fluency and coherence section, we are at around about a band 3. Maybe in other areas a little bit higher, but that's one area that's holding us back. But
Very happy when we celebrate the Independence Day of our country, and all of region in Indonesia, in every region, do
difficult word there to pronounce. The correct way to pronounce it is region. It was spelt Region, but we say it as region. Jun.
a lot of games to honor and celebrate this event. Uh, yeah, another.
So here, as you can see, I stayed quiet. I continued to remain quiet because I think he was still under the 60-second mark. And usually in part 2 of the IELTS speaking test, you are expected to speak anywhere between 60 seconds and 120 seconds. So yeah.
Even that, sorry, another as sorry.
Okay. I do have to give it to you though, Dimas. You are trying very hard. And this is not easy. For somebody who has limited English, you're doing a really good job. You don't really look that stressed. I would be really stressed if I was speaking a different language and I was expected to speak for that long. And I didn't really know, I'm not really familiar with that language too much. I would feel very stressed. So well done to you, Dimas, and for everybody else who is in a similar situation.
Yeah, I think that's it. Enough for my.
Okay, we will move over to part 3. Okay, now in part 2 of the speaking test, the examiner may ask you 1 or 2 follow-up questions before they move on to part 3. However, for this, I thought it would just be a good idea just to move straight over directly to part 3. So let's see what part 3 consists of the speaking test. So how important do you think celebrations are in society today?
Yeah, the celebration of event, nowadays, is quite important.
Right. Uh, Good start there. You did exactly what I was talking about before, which is just steal some of the words from the examiner. So you did that there and you answered the question directly. So good. Well done.
In my opinion, because it will give some rewards for people uh, for his or her contribution during their life, and it can.
Okay. So going back to the fluency and coherence section, which is worth 25% of your speaking test score. Part of coherence is being able to finish us at the right time. So a lot of the time you might notice that you're speaking, but you don't know how to finish your speaking. And that's what stops us to getting those higher marks. And that's what you can see here. So we started off the answer very well. However, Dimas is finding it a little bit hard now to finish his answer.
Improve their motivation when we celebrate uh, when we give the celebration to another.
Okay. And how will celebrations change in the future?
Yeah, in my opinion, celebration has been changed a lot.
So let's see what the rest of the answer consists of. But I asked about the future and he's now talking about the past. So bit confusing, but let's continue.
When I was child, uh, we celebrate our birthday in my house, and then people come to house and give some gift to another child. But nowadays, it can be celebrated everywhere. I mean, sometimes it can celebrate online. You
So we're going back to making the same mistake of not answering the question directly. So as you can see what my feedback will be towards the end. I will give a detailed analysis towards the end and a bit of a commentary at the end, followed by my exact score that I think Dimas would get for this speaking test, this mock test. But let's continue.
using another using platforms online, and yeah, it's a difference before and now.
Okay. And do you think it is important to spend a lot of money to celebrate properly?
Um, yeah, perhaps we do not have to spend a lot of money for celebrate uh event, because sometimes sorry, yeah, yeah, I think we cannot do we cannot spend a lot of money. uh yeah, it depends on what the event that we want to celebrate it. If the event is most important, maybe sometimes we can spend money for that event.
Okay. Oh, okay. That wasn't the best answer, really. I don't think we even answered the question at all there. Um, yeah, this is good for you though, Dimas, because this I think you said this is your first time, so you've got a feel of how the test is. So use this as practice and just continue to answer IELTS speaking tests as part of your practice, and you will improve. So again, well done for having the confidence to even participate in this test. And are there any celebrations that you think should be more widely recognized? Widely recognized. This is a bit of a difficult question, but let's see.
uh in general, in my head, I think about the New Year celebration, because we are around the world have the same calendar, and we celebrate it together uh, in every country. Yeah, maybe it can be celebrated together and more happy.
Okay, right. We've now come to the end of the speaking test, so I will now stop the recording. Okay, right. Let's give a bit of a detailed commentary on this. So the IELTS speaking test, there are 4 sections which you are marked against. So let's look at these 4 sections. So the first one is fluency and coherence. Now let's look at what a band 3 consists of. So it says speaks with long pauses. Okay. The second bullet point is has limited ability to link simple sentences. So as we mentioned earlier, some of his answers were just going on and on and on. They weren't really structured correctly. So yep, we've got both of those so far. The third one is give only simple responses and is frequently unable to convey basic message. I definitely agree with the third point. I think Dimas did frequently struggle to convey a basic message. Also, by the way, I will leave a downloadable link for this image that you can see on your screen, so you can download it and just have a look at it yourself. Yes, and please let me know what you think. How you know what you think of Dimas's test. Right, let's move on to lexical resource. So, if you're wondering what lexical resource is, this is basically vocabulary. Okay, so let's look at what a band 3 consists of. If he hits all the bullet points for band 3, then we can look at a band 4. Okay. Now I did look at band 4 for fluency and coherence. Just to save you time, I don't think we got that. So that's why we're moving straight on to lexical resource. So band 3 uses simple vocabulary to convey personal information. Yeah, he did do that. If he gets this next one, we can then look at a band 4. Next one is has insufficient vocabulary for less familiar topics. And again, I think here he did get that. Let's look at a band 4, because if he just gets one of these, then he will be on track for a band 4. So, is able to talk about familiar topics, but can only convey basic meaning on unfamiliar topics. So, unfamiliar topics is basically is part 2, the test normally. On unfamiliar topics and makes frequent errors in word choice. I think he got that. Yeah. Second one is rarely attempts paraphrase. So we mentioned that already. So he did rarely attempt. He did once or twice, I think. So yeah. So far, we are on a 3 for fluency and coherence. We're on a 4. I would say that you've got 4 for lexical resource. So far it's a 3 and a 4. Okay, let's look at the next section, which is grammatical range and accuracy. So his grammar, let's see what it consists of. So band 3 attempts basic sentence forms, but with limited success or relies on apparently memorized utterances. I don't think Dimas relied on any memorized answers. Maybe the first question, but for the rest, I don't think he did memorize. So that part's fine. The second bullet point makes numerous errors except in memorized expressions. So he didn't use memorized answers. So both of those are fine. Let's look at a band 4. Produces basic sentence forms and some correct simple sentences, but subordinate structures are rare. They are rare in this case. We'll talk about what subordinate structures are in a different video. I'll make a separate video on grammar so everyone can learn from it. Right. The second one, errors are frequent and may lead to misunderstanding. Definitely. So I think the bullet points in band 4 perfectly describe Dimas's grammatical range and accuracy. So far we're on a 3, 4, and a 4. Now, let's look at pronunciation. So for pronunciation, if you are on a 3, then our overall score will be, I think, a band 3.5. I'll need to calculate it. If we get a 4, then our overall band score will be a 4. So let's see. So for a band 3, it says shows some of the features of a band 2 and some but not all of the positive features of a band 4. So for band 2, is speech is often unintelligible. I think you've definitely got that. Let's look at band 4. So uses a limited range of pronunciation features. Yeah, I think you've got that. Attempts to control features, but lapses are frequent. Yeah, your pronunciation was fine, to be honest. So I think you've got this as well. Mispronunciations are frequent and causes some difficulty for the listener. This did happen actually. At first, I thought it might be the audio, but going back to it, I think it was actually the pronunciation. So yeah, I think you've got a 4 for that. So you've got a 3, 4, 4, and a 4. So you've got a 3 for fluency and coherence, 4 for lexical resource, 4 for grammatical range and accuracy, and a 4 for pronunciation, bringing our final band to a band 4.0. And that brings us to the end of this video. Again, if you would like your own free test, you can join my WhatsApp group. The link is in the description. I hope you benefited from this video. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.